how do you look back on what you did out there against Mason Jones, your first MMA fight in several years? I guess how do you look back on your performance?
Yeah, I thought, as far as the performance, I thought I performed great. Dealing with the hand that I was dealt, to make an opportunity, to crawl out of the well and bare knuckle, and to have an opportunity to fight in your hometown on, basically like had to run right into a MMA camp. I've been training boxing and doing bare knuckle, no leaving no stone unturned to go to an MMA camp. I felt like the performance was awesome. I was showing really resilience in there. I was showing good boxing. I was cracking them. I was making them shoot for doubles. I was working up. I was getting out position in a few grappling areas. That was, could have been expected. Not being able to train, boxing or at a level that he's been at. He's on a 5-fight win streak. Very tough dude. He's kind of been a little bit more active, but I showed high intellect when it came to my boxing skills, being able to block and see punches, crack him in his jaw, make him double leg in, and doing things like that. So there's a lot I can take out of that performance. My resilience, able to kind of take some unexpected spinning elbows, some shots. You know, uh, Good resilience, man. I thought I did great. Give me a little bit more time to prepare. I feel like I can even have a better performance in MMA for sure.
You've headlined multiple events before in BKFC and UFC. Are you kind of surprised that they gave you Mason Jones? And do you feel like you wish that they might have given you like a bigger name?
Yeah, I mean, Mason Jones to prove that he's a worthy opponent. He's on like a 5-fight, 6-fight win streak. He's a big 55er. The dude's fucking tough as shit, bro. I cracked him really hard. I had him double legging me. He was able to get me down, kind of keep me in some positions. He did what he had to do to win the fight. The dude's tough. I think the guy's gonna. He was apologizing at the end of the fight. I said, "Bro, you did great, bro. That was a good performance. You did what you had to do. Like you squeaked out of there. It could have been a bad night for him. I think the dude's very tough. Going forward, we'll see how he does. But I would say definitely it was a worthy opponent for sure.
Hmm. Last December, you mentioned that this Mike Perry fight might be possible. Now it's finally happening. The King of Violence title is up for grabs. I'm going to read you like your accolades real quick. 35 fights in the UFC, six most in UFC history, 10 performance bonuses, $500,000 in performance bonuses, 10 former UFC champions. What does the King of Violence title do for you and your legacy moving forward?
Man, it's proving myself right, man. Sticking through some resilience, some really really dark times, and I grew up inside the UFC, man. I really learned from a lot of losses, and always I came back and I've been able to perform even better. I've been able to put on highlight after highlight. I always told people my next knockout is going to be my next one, and people always got a kick out of that. They'd never understood that. I always knew down the line, I was going to have success later on in my career, to have 35 fights, 37-time weigh-in vet in UFC, top of the line, fighting nothing but fucking hitters, life outside the UFC, boxing, doing this in bare knuckle. It's just, I feel like, all that knowledge and coming into bare knuckle, bro, no one's beat me on the fucking streets in bare knuckle. I was born for this shit. Everything I've ever been through, what I've gone through, what I'm currently fucking dealing with, how I handle things, the stoic mastery, and the fucking laws of power that I've had to do, attract it, climb myself out of a fucking ring well, to get opportunity in bare knuckle to actually talk to the Godfathers, man. I started believing in God and believing in myself and trusting in myself. And I feel like I'm right here at home when it comes to being one of the bloodiest combat sports, best fucking athletes around. I'm definitely him. No matter what the fucking weight class, this is my sport. I feel right at home here.
Mike Perry is like, I feel like he's a face of BKFC. You go out there, you get a knockout. Do you feel like you're the new face of the BKFC?
Bro, I feel like I am. I feel like he's had his time, bro. I'm coming in. I feel like I'm him. New face. I've been telling these motherfuckers keep me busy, and when I go in there, bro, I'm doing nasty work inside there, bro. Breaking fucking jaws. I'm breaking souls in there. I'm fucking hurting people in there. They don't like what they feel in there. You can't fucking take me down when it comes to bare knuckle. They don't the mindset, the intellect that I got. I really love this sport, man. I'm the new face, bro. I'm the king of the barbarians. I've been saying, where are these boys at? I get to put myself into the fucking reality. I get to face the opponent that everybody's ducking, dipping, dodging, and not fucking taking. I get to prove to myself that I'm the bloodiest, baddest dude in combat sports history. I get to prove to myself that they're betting on the fucking wrong horse. Everybody's gone against me. I get to make this happen. I put myself in this position. I'm more certified and solidified and trusting more in my God, my coaches, and my timing and what I've been through to shape me and forge me for this very fiery moment that I'm excited to take advantage of.
And I'm glad that they're still giving you big names. You got Jimmy Rivera, Eddie Alvarez, Mike Perry. What were your first memories of Mike Perry? Like, when was the first time you heard about him in the UFC? And I guess what was your first impressions of him as a fighter and the personality?
Fuck him.
Okay, next question. Would you give Mike Perry an immediate rematch? Because I feel like the money could be there if he beat him.
Fuck him. I'm gonna put him out, bro. I'm gonna leave my statement's gonna speak for itself. I'm a man of action. I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna fucking dominate it, and I'm gonna make it look easy.
What more would you like to accomplish after this title? Is it more titles or is it just more money from here on out?
Yeah, I feel like I can do UFC, BKFC, and boxing. I feel like I got a couple more fights, and this is just a huge moment to take advantage of this grand opportunity and put myself in a fucking phenomenal position. I'm in no contract. I'm Mr. Say When. I can do what I want when I want. I'm the only fucking man doing it. Life outside, so it's just I'm not here for the check. I'm here to break this motherfucker's neck and the opportunities that come with it. I've been putting this and manifesting these things into reality. BKFC, UFC, motherfuckers cannot run from me. I have a lot of opportunity wherever I decide to go.
So is Jeremy Stevens' UFC run still not over? Do you feel like you might have a fight or two left in there?
Absolutely, yeah. I for sure got one more fight, definitely, most definitely. Maybe who knows, man? Maybe it'd be nice to have like a one last fight right there, and that'd be it. One more for sure. I was actually, I was talking to UFC and them guys about another opportunity. They love the performance. They're like, hey, dude, fucking phenomenal performance. Like, wow. Like we were thinking about running it. This fight actually almost happened in UFC, believe it or not. There's talks about that. Well,
Wow.
here we are. I love my odds here in bare knuckle. People might think that's crazy or whatever, but I love my odds of especially like the weight. With wrestling, you definitely have to worry about that. You can definitely feel people's size, but here in the bare knuckle, like you can choose to engage in the clinch, and you can also choose not to by using speed and lots of tools. But I like my odds here in bare knuckle a lot more than I would MMA for sure.
Last question for you. What was your reaction to your former foe, Frankie Edgar, former champion? He's going to be fighting another former foe of yours, and Jimmy Rivera. I guess what's your take? And I guess do you even have a prediction for how that fight goes?
Man, if I'm being honest, bro, if I was like a real friend to Frankie Edgar, or I was like somebody who was like buddies with him, just be like, I don't think you should be fighting, bro. To be dead honest, not in bare knuckle. I almost wanted to say something at the press conference. This isn't a game. This is different, bro. You're risking your life and your health is really on the fucking line. When you're fighting in this blood combat sports, it's too hot for TV shit. There's a reason why it's on pay-per-view. There's a reason why it's one of the hottest fucking sports to come. Baddest combat athletes, true fighting. And your knuckles do turn to knives, and there's a lot of blood and gore in there, breaking jaws, orbitals. Taking fucking souls in there. So this game is a lot different. I personally don't. He's his own man. He makes his own choice when it comes to that night. Fuck everybody. I'm only worried about me and what I'm doing and what the fuck that I have to do to provide for my family, what I believe in and what I got to do. He's his own man. He made his own choice. But if I was a friend to him, I would say, hey, look at this situation. Is it really worth it? I don't think Frankie's the same as he once was.
Well,
Honest to God, truth, bro. So whether you guys take that however you want, like if I was a friend to him, I'd be telling him not to. It's a good matchup for him and old Jimmy. Jimmy hits pretty hard. He's been doing it. I think it's a good matchup, but personally, that's just my opinion. Take it or take it how you want it.